What's going on, guys? Niko here, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to simply write a very catchy, happy melody, something that sounds like a Kygo, Jonas Blue, and show you how easy it is. This is the example that we're going to walk through today. All right, so let's first record the initial idea on the piano. So let's break this down so everyone can understand what I was doing there, whether or not you play piano or you do. So the first thing is we have to find a really good chord progression. Now, the happy chord progression, literally there's a song by Kygo called Happy Now, and this is the chord progression. F major, C, G major. And you can transpose this to any key, and we're only using the white keys here to keep it simple. Now, what I'm going to do with this chord progression, I'm going to play it through real quick, and I want to add some rhythmic variation to make it even happier and more alive. So I'm going to take the chord progression. I'm actually going to standardize the note sizes right here. And I want it to play probably, let's see, 2. So zoom in a little bit more. Probably going to have it play on the thirds like this. And I'll show you guys in a second what I'm doing. Here we go. So this is a common rhythmic pattern. I actually have a video on EDM rhythms. So here's a chord progression. And you can hear the vibe already that we're making. So we just take this one, do the same thing. And again, this is a common EDM chord progression rhythm. Here we go. And I don't mind a little latency. Okay. Here we go. Here's the new chord progression. We'll get rid of this one. A little loud, so I'm going to lower the velocity. Now I have a nice chord progression. And by the way, the way I make these is I take the root note and use the chord strategies. Again, lots of videos on this channel. Now, our melody here. Now, this is not perfectly recorded in, so we may have to make some adjustments. Let me just quantize this and see. This looks a little bit fast here, so I'm just going to move it. Whoops. Let's listen in. So this seems quantized. Let's see this now. All right, so what's going on, right? How do I even figure out as a producer to make a melody like this? Well, the first thing that we have to go through here is understanding the melody starters. I go through this over and over on the channel. Now, when I'm playing the piano, I'm not really thinking about it, but there are certain melodic patterns that I am following. In this situation, I'm going to lay these out right now for you. So the first one right here, G, A, G, E, and D. Playing with these notes right here, really loud, like if I play on the piano, these notes you can mess around with a little bit to come up with new melodic ideas. And you really just kind of have to play them on the piano. And if you don't really understand piano, mess around a little bit and play along with a chord progression once you get the chord progression down, and you'll come up with new ideas. So let's just think about this melody. What makes it good? What makes it catchy, right? So obviously the melody starters are going to be very important when making this melody. So like I mentioned, 2, 3, 5, and 6, and the notes are on the screen here, really great to play along with. And another thing you can do is use 1, 2, 3, 5. It's basically a cluster chord, and I talk a lot about on this channel cluster chords played out in a melody format. If we play the cluster chord by itself, and you can see it's highlighted on the screen. So really, these 5 notes here are the notes that Avicii and Kygo use non-stop. And again, you could transpose it to any key, but we're just using the white keys here. So you mess around playing with those 5 notes, you can come up with thousands of melodic ideas. And again, comment down below melody mastery. So what we did here is I basically just played out a couple of melody starters on the piano and came up with this cool rhythm. So from here, let's keep going through the melody and talk about what's going on, right? So really, it's like a call and response going back and forth. This right here is the same thing as this. And then we have an ascending in the second half of the measure, like right there. Let me zoom in a little bit more. And right here, we also have an ascending part, right? And the rhythms are almost the same, but we're changing up the notes. So I actually like how this sounds already. I don't want to do too much to it, but I think that there could be a couple opportunities to fill in notes. Like right here. Da-na-na-na. See, again, you could just kind of play through stuff. Dun, dun, dun. Again, easy because we're only using the white keys. So listen to the second half now. So there you go. There you have a nice Kygo melody. Now, if you want to get a little bit more fancy with it, what we can do here is we can do some chord substitution and mess around with a different chord progression. So it's happy now. This is an F chord right here. Why don't we make this? Let's see how this actually works. We're going to make this a D minor chord. And I'm going to jump this third up an octave. And I'm going to make this chord right here an A minor, and then we'll go to a G. So take this down here. Now I'm just spreading out the chord a little bit. Let's listen to this now. See how it completely changes the vibe, and we can make this an E chord. Now I want to make it resolve to something a little more happier, so I'm going to make it kind of close here. Let's move this up. See what I'm doing, guys? You can substitute chords and it changes the whole vibe. We had a happy vibe. It was grooving. Everything's good. You're drinking a pina colada at the beach, and all of a sudden it starts raining. And this is what happens when you change the chord progressions. The rain comes down and the thunder comes down harder. Move this down an octave maybe. Right? And this is what I call the tension chord progression. We're using the 2 chord, the 6 chord, and the 5 chord in the key. So yeah, you could pretty much change this up and just change up the chord progression, and you could do a lot of different things. Now, alternatively, what we can do is we can have a D minor going into an F, and I'm just messing around here, guys. Here we go. A tension chord, listen to this. Now, you've noticed that the notes hang on a little bit longer than they probably should, and there's actually a reasoning behind this. I have the sustain pedal right here, so whenever I change chords, what I have to do is I have to actually adjust this pedal because it's actually holding the notes out for a longer period of time. So let's listen here. Now, I like the happier version better, but the point that you can take away is chord progression, melody. How do I make the chord progression? Use the strategies, use my MIDI packs, obviously, because there's tons in there. And then in terms of melodies, the very important part, melody starters. Emulate the best and come up with your own stuff. That being said, that concludes this video. No, you definitely got something out of it, so I'm not even gonna say hope you got something out of it. It's a great video, covers a lot of stuff, make happy melodies, have a good life, and I will see you guys in the next video. Oh, by the way, comment, like, and subscribe down below. Hit the notifications bell so you guys get access to all of this free content to help improve your songwriting, production, and more. Niko here again, and with that being said, I will see you guys next time.